Crew. Give them a big ups, everybody. These are our sponsors. We've got sponsors here. Thank you very much to all our sponsors for making this show a wonderful show, Gerald.
Yeah, we can't run the show without them. They are the friends of the Golden Shears, and they're the friends of all the shearers and woolhandlers and Masterton as a whole. Very, very important aspect of it. Well, we're time for action. It's more about the shearers and pressers than us, Tuma. The major sponsor here is Farmlands and Woolpacks New Zealand. Tuma will put you over here. We'll introduce these two strong gentlemen. Oh, we've got the call. Is that a thumbs up from the chief referee, Alan Precious? Wow, down this end here, a very, very famous name. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to clap your hands and give him a really warm welcome from Masterton. He is from Masterton, Vinny Goodger, ladies and gentlemen. Come on down, Vinny.
And on press number 2, he's a newbie to the finals, because in the finals we always have the Goodgers. But this year, the older brother Jeremy, he's been kicked to the curb. We've got a new young fella, Conan the Barbarian, ladies and gentlemen. He is from Masterton as well. Oh, the big boy.
All right, he's pumped up. We talk about an adrenal jump when you get really pumped up. Well, Conan the Barbarian's had it already on the journey up here. We'll just let them get their gear set up, Tuma, and we'll set this place alight. Or more to the point, they will.
Okay, Gerald, while these guys are setting up, let's just give everybody in the audience a bit of an idea on how these guys are scored, just so they know if someone is pressing well or if they're not pressing so good. A lot of it is safety, isn't it?
Yeah, there's huge aspects on safety. We want longevity in the industry, so there's all these aspects of in and out of the box. You know, the knocking of gear, knocking the gear around, a bit of roughness that way. Just everything general on safety that way, Tuma, keeping good control of the handle. What's your postures like when you're putting these pins in what's known as the top box, ladies and gentlemen, down there? That's a big one. And the other big one, of course, is presentation too, Tuma.
Yeah, presentation is a good thing. It's just like shearing, isn't it? When the sheep is shorn, we like it to look pretty. It's the same with the wool bales. Comes down to branding, being able to handwrite whatever description is in the bale, and we always write the description on the bale before we pull it out of the press. These guys here will know that. We got Shooker over here, he's giving me the big thumbs up. So yeah, that's how we should do it. Are we ready to go, are we?
Well, just a reminder, we're down the back there for all the heats and the semis, and we had some real serious action down there this morning with women's singles and men's pairs. But you'll notice, guys, Conan and Vinny are here this way. There's not a lot of room back here, so you'll probably have to wind that top box up, give yourself a bit of space to get those pins in there. So that's some safety factor number 1 has been forced on you.
170 kilos, Gerald, is the desired weight.
That is the desired weight. Time will tell. Lots of points tied up in time and weight. Are you ready, Tuma?
Oh, I'm ready. I don't know about Conan, but I'm definitely ready.
You ready to go? Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready? Right, thank you very much. Come along for the ride. Judges, you ready? More to the point. Pressers, on your marks, get set, go!
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first final where we haven't had Jeremy Goodger in for 20 years, I think it is. So these wool presses, a little bit of foreign territory for Conan here. Vinny's been there before, Gerald.
Yeah, he has won this event in the year 2013, so he has been under the bright lights before, and he's got a huge big wingspan on him, and look, he's going to use it right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's rolling it, he's knitting it together. Boom! Look at that massive big pile. How's the Barbarian getting on down there, Tuma?
First load of wool to go in. I think there's a good 20 to 30 kilos there. He needs to get a little bit bigger than that, because Vinny's got arms longer than anyone else in this business, and he can really get those big hunks of wool in. But here we go. Vinny, he's got the stomp going on there. How do these guys maintain this sort of pressure? I mean, there's a lot of work going into pressing a bale. And I see on Facebook, Jeremy Goodger will give $100, I think it is, to any of these boys that get the correct weight.
Right on the button, that's what we like. Well, Vinny, good you just see him hop in that press, just one big step and he was up and in there. And if you're pressing that wall like Conan is down there, it's like trying to squash something in a trampoline. It keeps coming back at you and it just literally draws all the energy out of those big thigh muscles. It's just draining, like trying to sprint up a sand dune. It just sucks it out of you. But the top cap's going on here, Tuma. Vinny's happy with that as Conan, your man, jumps up and gives it another tramp.
Conan has a little glimpse over. He knows he's not too far behind. He wants to make sure he gets that 170 kilos. And he looks pretty good at the moment. He'll be putting the top cap in shortly. But Vinny's drawing away from him, Gerald.
Vinny is getting the capless pack organised and ready. Clip down. That's where the staples will go through later on. He's making it nice and tidy. We're talking about that tidiness before. They need a nice, clean work area to play in. Vinny's round to the other side. The Barbarian, the Conan, shakes the old pack free with a bit of ear. The brand spanking new packs and they stick together. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your man from Masterton, Vinny Goodger's gonna go for gold. Oh, look at that. What an armful, folks. Were you impressed with that? I hope so, because it looks good from up here where I'm standing. He's going to go again for you. Come on, encourage him. Come on, Vinny. Come on, you can do it. Oh, clean jerk. Vinny, look at the arms. How did you say those big long arms of his here, Toomer, save him a whole lot of tramping, because he can stuff so far down with those big wings of his.
Yeah, we got Conan now. Conan's getting the big arm loads in. He knows he can't let Vinny get too much in front. There is a lot of time points at stake, and so he needs to keep right there with the ball. A little bit drops out from behind. Come on, Conan, he's the big boy. This guy here, Conan, you watch him, he'll crank the bell with one arm. There he goes, another load of wool goes in. He's looking over. He's thinking, no, I'm still good. I got you, Vinny.
All right, Vinny, stick with it, mate. I'm going to go with you. Here we go again, just a wee armful. He's thinking, right, that's getting close to 70. Although you LA people out there are thinking, how does he know that could be 170 kgs out of just grabbing a bit of this fluffy stuff called wool? Well, it's just a sense. When you grab each one, you know roughly what you got. And when you're tramping, you get the feel of the firmness under your feet. As Vinny's punching the corners must be nice and square. When that bale arrives out here later on before weighing, it's got to sit nice and plumb and tidy when Vinny unlocks that door and lets it loose. He's doing a bit of housekeeping down here now, Toomer. Oh, how's your man going? He's sticking some wool in that baby.
Yeah, Conan, he's got the big calf muscles are starting to bulge. Just a little bit of a shine is starting to come on this young fella. Here he goes. He's just making sure you get those corners, because you're right, you do want that bale to stand up by itself. And here he goes, house cleaning for him. Vinny, he's a little wee ways behind Conan. He just reckons, I need another 2 or 3 kilos in each corner and I'm good to go. Vinny down there, oh, he's moving around, but he's not that far in front. Gerald.
Vinny here just tidies it up. He couldn't leave that wool hanging out, because later on he's got to drive some pins through that pack. If that wool gets on the end of a sharp pin, it makes it awfully blunt, which becomes very difficult to get through the pack. So he's got that out of the way. Out come the pins now. You have to shout for that if you start pressing them. It's hard work. You get halfway down and you think something's not right here. And sure enough, you've got 3 bent pins in there. And it happens daily in a wool shed. Nowadays in a wool shed, we've got what's known as no tramp presses. There's none of this tramping. You just stuff it in there and you've got scales on it. You've got all the easy stuff in today's world. But right here, we're doing it the real good old-fashioned way at the Golden Shears. This'll test the boys. The top box is up. Vinny's on the broom. Conan drops his top box, shakes it into place. Vinny's going to be going for the old crank down soon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we're going to need your support. When Vinny gets to halfway there, or Conan gets to halfway, we know, Toomer, we've pressed a few bales in our day, and it starts biting those big trunk muscles up your back here. Whoa, they start to bite. So the thighs have had a beating, and now the big trunk muscles are going to get a beating. Here he goes, ladies and gentlemen, your man, Vinny.
We got Conan here. He's got one side up. A little bit of housekeeping left to do. Look at Vinny around his press. It's tidy as. But this Vinny, he is a machine, Gerald.
The press is clanging and banging, and Vinny didn't even flinch. He just said, hold in there, baby. There's 170.5 Ks in there. Look at him go. He's still hauling 3 at a time. Boom. Super stuff. He takes a breath. He's focused. At this stage, all his coordination looks good. He's still going well. It's about now they start sort of stumbling and tripping and running out of gas and running out of oxygen and all those sorts of things. Top box down. How is Conan the Barbarian getting on, Tuma?
Yeah, the Barbarian, he's just got to get this other side. He's got the ropes up. He's ready to go. Just a few house cleaning. Here we go. Get him behind him, ladies and gentlemen. We want him to catch up to Vinny. We got the CP Wolves crew here. Get him behind Conan. The big boy with the big arms. Here he goes. Oh, he's just checking that the box is in. Yes, sir, good to go. Conan all the way to the bottom. Clickety-click, clickety-click. Here he comes, Vinny. Vinny's hands are sweating. He's having problems pushing those pins in because here comes Conan the Barbarian, ladies and gentlemen. Get him behind these two young Masterton gladiators. He is giving it everything, Gerald.
Look at him go. He deserves that support. Wow. But hey, over here, Vinny is getting the lid out of the way. There it is. He says, right, take a breather now. I've made my mark against this very good mate over here. These two, first cousins too, ladies and gentlemen, and been good pals since they were about 4 years old. But at the moment, like a good old-fashioned rugby game, they're going to leave it up here and have a beer later on. But right at the moment, they're going to give everything possible to this event right here at the Golden Shears. It's not very often you get to get up on this stage at the Golden Shears. They don't come every day. And when you do get them, you bring your A game. And Vinny's brought it. Onto the clips he goes. They had to brand the bale. There's a lot of points in that too, of course, Tuma. No use sending a bale to town if no one owns it.
Well, I'm just looking at the wool that's left behind. I don't know how much wool there was at the start, but Vinny looks like he's got a lot more wool left on the floor. His bale may be a little wee bit light. But hey, we'll have to see, Gerald, because he is going very, very well. But Conan here, he's putting the clips in on the bottom flap. 3 on the bottom, 4 on the top. Come on, Conan, you need to move along, mate, because Vinny, he is clipping up Gerald.
He's clipping up nice and tidy as one should do. Talking about we're going to see in probably about 30 odd seconds as Vinny's doing the finishing touches here. Once again, the tidiness in here, it plays a part. These flaps have to be sort of all nice and tidy. We don't want any wool hanging out the corners. You'll see Vinny, when he lets this bale free, he'll tidy up all the corners before he throws his hand in the air. But he's put on a huge big display here. They both are, these first cousins. They are just giving it everything. Look at the sweat starting to arrive now on Vinny. Here come the pins. Boom, boom, boom. Out they come. See you later, pins. The door's unlocked. Just about at this moment, it's still locked and loaded. Well, not locked, but it's loaded. Let her free now, Vinny, and so he does. The corners to go down here, Tuma. How's your man going?
Yeah, Conan, he's got one more pin to get in, then he'll be letting the yard lid go. Here he goes, punching those pins through. Oh, he's not far behind now. He's got to untangle the ropes, take them off, make sure everything's nice and tidy the way it was when they got here. Here he goes, pulling the rope through. Come on, Conan, keep it going.
Here we go, Dimmer! Oh, yeah.
Really good. Yeah, the experience really showing through. Conan, he's not too far behind. He's not going to lose a lot of time points. Come on, Conan, time to clip it up.
Well, Vinny, your good mate's still toiling away over there. How do you think you went?
When I dragged my bale out, it felt a bit light, to be honest, but you never know on the day, I suppose. It's an honour and a privilege to be able to come up here and perform in such a big audience like yourselves, and I'd just like to congratulate Conan for making this far and keeping the trophy in Masterton. Thank you very much.
Well said, Vinny.
We've got the pins coming out, Gerald. He's not too far away. He used his little finger to pull those pins out. That's Conan the Barbarian. Not long to go now. A few more tidy up issues. You got to be tidy. These are wool pressing judges. They're pretty fussy. Watch out when you walk back. There he goes. He's going to drag it over to Vinny's just to show him what a 170 kilo bale looks like.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Big chair. What a display. What a way to open the night on Friday night.
So these guys have been friends since they were 4 years old, Gerald.
Yeah, look at them. They're good mates. It's like after a rugby game, you get in there, have a big shower up and a few beers together, don't you? Absolutely brilliant.
How are you, mate? You caught your breath back yet?
Yeah.
I think that your bale's a bit heavier than Vinny's just from the wool that's left behind, if that's any indication.
I hope so.
Oh, well, we're going to get the weigh up going on. This is Mr. John Hodder. He's the boss of the 170 is the weight that we're after. We'll do Vinny's first, will we, Gerald?
Just so the audience do know, if the bale is light, as in per Ks, you lose more points for a light bale per K, okay? Just about double considering the other side if it's heavy, because you've had to do less work as in stuffing the wool in here and squashing it down. There's a lot of things tied up in this weight right now. There's a lot of points tied up in here. So remember, a light bale loses more points. You don't want more points. That's penalties. You want less. So if you're going to be over or out, be high. And don't forget, 2 kgs is only about 1% margin. Remember that too. Where are these boys? We've got Vinny's bale on here. Does someone want to have a guess? You haven't touched anything, Alan? No? Vinny, come over and announce your bale weight, mate. We're trying to line up 170, ladies and gentlemen. Vinny's going to stay back there and rest up. This is her. You tell me when you got a confirmed number, boys. Confirmed, John. Target's 170, folks. Vinny's bale, 164 kgs, folks. 6 kgs light in this stage. What are you thinking there, Vinny? What do you think of that?
Considering I don't do this full time anymore, it's a lot harder on the body. It soon wakes you up, but it's an honour to be able to come down here and wool press in front of an audience, and yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, good one, Vinny. Yeah, we know you've taken a bit of a change in jobs now, and you get up early, all right, for milking those cows.
Roger Hales reckons
Conan's
172.
body. Sorry?
Roger Hales reckons 172.
You're thinking 172.
That's what he reckons.
Here we go. Conan Gray. We've named him Conan the Barbarian because he's got muscles on top of his muscles.
That can't be right.
You're going to sit on that one? Yeah. There's a lot at stake here, ladies and gentlemen. The honours board at the back, that's where your name will be. It'll be in the book from here on in. The Goodger name has dominated the scene here for numerous years with Jeremy Goodger and the individuals and the Goodger family as a whole and the peers and the likes. Really the David Fagan is Shearing. What's the call? We got the one more time. You can tell there's a fair bit. We're not doing this just to hold your anticipation. We're actually doing it because there's a fair bit at stake here. Will it be a Goodger name again? This is not the be-all and end-all, but there's a lot of points tied up in it. We got the confirmed? What do you think, Tim?
163 kilos, ladies and gentlemen.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Conan. Great. Thanks, Vinny Goodger. Ladies and gentlemen, what a way to start the night. Give it up for these two lads as they leave the stage. What a super, super event. I get a strong feeling we might be rolling over to the band, are we? Well, next step from here, ladies and gentlemen, mix and mingle, do a bit of networking and the likes. We'll have a bit of music while we clear the decks, and you're going to have 30 of the best shearers at the Golden Shears this year coming down the centre to compete in the top 30.
We got win some lost, ladies and gentlemen. That's them up in the corner. Give them a hand. They're going to play us a few numbers while we clean up.
Well, the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a band, he was way behind, he was willing to make a deal. And he came across this young boy signing a fiddle and playing it hot. And he jumped upon a hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what. I bet you never knew it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to place it there, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play a pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet I'll fiddle to gold against your soul. I think I'm better than you. The boy said, my name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet you're gonna regret I'm the best it's ever been. Johnny, rosin up your bow and play your fiddle hard. It's Edmund loose in Georgia and the devil deals a card. And if you win, you get the shiny fiddle ready to go. But if you lose, the devil gets your soul. Well, the devil opened up his case and he said, let's start the show. And fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow. And he pulled that bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. And a band of demons joined in and it sounded something like this.
The feet cannot leave the floor, the competitor's feet, and they're working in a confined space, and that made it quite difficult as well. But to press a bale with under 10 minutes at 164 and 163 respectively, that's not bad going. I think Vinny's taken that one out.
Yes, I do. Yeah, well, after seeing that, yes, I do. I believe Vinny's taken it out. And that will keep the Goodyear name there. Interesting, in the last 20 years, the Goodyear name's basically won it all bar perhaps 1 or 2 times. Is that correct, Kura?
Oh, yeah, they've been there. I think the last guy to dominate the wool pressing was a man called Willie Sharp and Jeremy, and he's brought sex to the wool press. He's just a sexy mover, and he's a big guy. He's 6'6", and he's 125 kilos, and he moves like Jagger. He's a real good mover, and hey, he's had his turn. It's time for another team
kid
of
on the
guys
block.
to come up. It's just like the guys on the stage here doing the commentary and stuff. It's time to do it. But Farmlands and Woolpacks New Zealand Limited, the first prize is $700, so that's a pretty good take-home. They've worked hard for it.
Pretty good effort for 10 minutes to get $700 a prize. I'd be quite happy with that and I'd take it home, but yeah, I don't think I'd quite be able to press a bale in 10 minutes.
Oh no,
It'd be a week
great.
or two since we used to do that sort of thing, so yeah. You're not wrong there, Claude.
All right. Well, we heard Karen McAnulty inviting all the dignitaries in here. They've got the French ambassador, and because it's in France in 2019, it's fitting that we have the ambassador here and Wendy, Sir David and Lady Wendy Fagan here